history-making weekend at Hickory. Kaden Honeycutt will join us to talk about his thoughts on all the late model stock action. And Racing America's very own Bachelor, Zach Evans, will be joining us to talk about things all Cars Tour related. Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels, is next. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cars Tour Weekly. I'm Jess Ballard, joined by the lovely Keely Dubinsky. And let's just dive into what a great weekend it was at Hickory.
Yes, Hickory Motor Speedway was obviously so much fun because it always is to go to Hickory, you know, the birthplace of the NASCAR stars, you know, the whole 9 yards. To have that kind of car count was very stressful. I am still exhausted.
Well, I know we were all kind of stressed out about the weather, but it ended up being absolutely perfect when it came race time.
It was, thank goodness, because that's always such a gamble, right? Because if you cancel the event too early and
People
the
are
rain
mad.
doesn't come, yeah, and then you're dumb, right? But then if you don't cancel it and it rains out and you're there all
People
night,
are mad.
and they're still mad. So we kind of played it perfectly. I think we took a big chance, but it ended up working out.
All right, what do you say we look at some highlights?
Yes, I would love to see him. Let's do it.
Let's go to the pro late model highlights first, with Connor Zilic and Katie Hettinger leading the field to green.
Last week, I said to keep an eye on Brent Cruz, and he didn't let me down, taking the lead from Zilic on lap 8. But 25 laps in, Zilic and Isabella Robusto moved by, dropping Cruz back to third. Just a few laps later, they'd make contact, sending Zilic for a spin down the front stretch.
Over the final third of the race, Robusto and Kenley winner Mike Hopkins would trade the lead back and forth several times until contact with 2 laps to go sent Robusto hard into the inside wall. Then, check out this finish. Hopkins, Zilic, and Cruz all going for the win, down to the line, and by about a hood length, Hopkins gets the win as he spins after the checkered flag. First race of the night, incredible finish, set the tone for the rest of the evening. I mean, that was incredible racing through the entire race, and then, of course, that crazy finish.
Yeah, it's so, you know, I'm the safety director in the tower, so I assist our race director and help out kind of with scoring. We were all watching it up there, like my palms were sweating. I was like, this is crazy, because normally the pros put on good races, like very good races, but this race was just so much different. I mean, it was
hard racing the whole time.
And it was like hard racing, but clean racing too. It was just good.
It was good racing.
So we were really happy about that because, you know, too, especially when you take a field that you normally don't have that kind of car count, it's very unpredictable.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Right. So like when we were watching that, we're like, well, dang, that's a pretty good race.
And that was just the beginning, as the late model stocks were on track for the next 150 laps. Carson Kvapil on the pole, and he would establish himself early as the driver to beat.
Not really used to seeing mechanical gremlins, but first the second place runner Cade Brown goes up in smoke, and then 3-time series champion Bobby McCarty suffers the same fate. Lap 61, Chase Burrows slows down with an issue, causing a chain reaction that collects Landon Huffman, Riley Gentry, and Laney Weiss. 63 laps to go, Zach Miracle spins after contact from Ryan Millington as they battled for 4th.
Close call for the leaders with 34 laps to go, as Carson Brown and Cody Kelly spin, with Kvapil and Connor Hall just behind. Another amazing finish on tap. Hall gets into Kvapil hard, coming to the checkered flag, but it's Kvapil hanging on for his second late model stock win of the season. And Keely, just another amazing finish to wrap up the evening at Hickory.
Yeah, it was. The late model stock race was a little bit more chaotic than the pro race, but it was still just, you know, good, hard racing. And I don't know if Connor Hall had a couple more laps, I don't know that Kvapil would have gotten it. So those are just, you know, finishes like that just kind of leave everybody in the what if scenarios, which I think is just something so special that the tour has too, because you genuinely have no idea who is going to take that checkered flag first.
For sure, for sure. Well, when we come back, we are going to be joined by Racing America's Zach Evans, and we'll get his thoughts on the weekend at Hickory.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety, providing the most advanced driver safety products to NASCAR, IndyCar, sprint cars, and sports cars drivers. From grassroots to professional racers, HMS Motorsport has over 25 years' experience outfitting drivers with the best gear on the market. Equipped with first-hand product knowledge, our experts are ready to help you select the best harness belts, seats, head restraints, helmets, and racing attire for your type of racing. HMS is even the exclusive importer for Schroed belts, Schubert helmets, and Valero base layers. Visit one of our stores in Mooresville, North Carolina, or Danvers, Massachusetts, or check us online at hmsmotorsport.com, where you can learn the details of our products and order online. Safety starts here.
5-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
It's the biggest weekend in Montgomery Motor Speedway history, and it comes your way on Saturday, April 29th. See the ASA Southern Super Series Super Late Models in the Rumble by the River, plus the return of the Show Me the Money Pro Late Models. It's a huge late model doubleheader on Saturday, April 29th at Montgomery Motor Speedway. For more info, go to montgomerymotorspeedway.org. Can't be there? You can watch it all live on Racing America.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's episode of Cars Tour Weekly presented by Pepperjack Kennels. And we are now joined in studio by the one and only Zach T. Evans of Racing America. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you know that we typically bring you out for very important shows, such as the short track draft and other things that require lots of data and calculations. That's kind of your thing. You're like the company nerd.
That's what we're going with, huh? Company nerd?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
fine.
And when we don't have someone else to fill the seat, and so
So I'm company nerd and last resort. That's what I'm hearing. So
well,
far.
at least you're self-aware. So
excellent.
She called me a redneck last week, so I mean,
this is all meant with love.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll just hop into it and ask you the hard-hitting questions. You've seen a lot of races at Hickory in your lifetime.
Yes.
Oh, that's another one of my running jokes with Zach.
I'm old.
His
right.
birth
okay.
year
Yep.
starts with an 8.
Yep. All right.
So
get it all out.
Anyways, so he's seen a lot. And so with that being said, which of the two races this weekend do you think was the better race?
Oh, that's tough. Both had very exciting finishes. Both had great racing throughout the evening. I guess if I made a cop-out answer, I'd say the late model stock race just because there were 50 more laps of great racing, but it's kind of a cop-out. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, yeah, both races were really good. And something that we just announced this week, which is kind of going to tie the two divisions together, is we're going to be doing the Keen Corvette Parts Challenge.
Woo-hoo.
So that's really interesting. So CorvetteParts.net, Keen Parts, they're coming on board to do a 4-race challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Ace, Hickory, South Boston, and Caraway. And it's the highest finisher in points per race. So it could be late model stock, it could be a pro. And then the winner of all 4 of those races combined is going to get $10,000. Second place is going to get $5,000, and third is going to get $2,500.
Dang.
Zach, what would you do with $10,000?
Oh gosh. I don't know the answer to that question, but what I do know is the folks at Keen have for a long time been very involved in supporting late model racing, especially in this region. Very cool to see them jump on board with this initiative for the Cars Tour. I mean, you're talking about $10,000. That's a pretty big deal for these teams. So it'll be cool to see how that plays out when we get to those 4 races and crown a King Corvette Parts Challenge champion after the finale.
So we got a big month of racing coming up, the month of May.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Death Month.
that's like, yeah, so sorry about, praying for you.
You'll be
over
fine.
there.
You've got it.
But
I believe in you.
The month of May is huge in racing because that's like the thing in Indy, right? The
Yes.
month of May. But for the Cars Tour as well. We
Yeah.
got, come on.
The little guys have a big month too.
Highlight what's going on in the month of May.
All right, so first in May, we're going to be going to Ace Speedway on May 5th. Obviously, both divisions we're going to be taking them, and then 17th we're going to Wilkesboro.
Yep, that's a small minor event.
Just minor, very small. Not that it's like all-star race weekend or anything like that. And then May 27th we're going to be going to Tri-County for $30,000 to win in the late model stock division. And, obviously we've got Kenny Wallace racing that one too. I was with him for a little bit yesterday and he was so excited. So, I mean, Zach, who do you think is going to take home the $30,000 this year?
Oh, man. I think right now it's hard to bet against Carson Quapple. And certainly the junior motorsports team has had some success over the years at Tri-County. But look, this competition is going to be incredible for that race. You're going to get not just your Cars Tour regulars, but guys that come in for that $30,000 payday. So it's got to be an awesome entry list, like we've already seen a few times this year with the series. And Tri-County might put on the best racing of any track the series goes to. So if you can make it out to that one, for sure, circle that one on the calendar. So y'all have asked me a lot of questions so far. I'd like to turn the tables. I want to ask a question.
Go on.
Keely,
What?
what is the deal with the possum tweet?
Wait. Before you go on about the possum tweet, let me tell you how. So I pull up to the racetrack. Admittedly, I waited till the weather cleared out. And so race day was already in full swing. Keely's driving by on her golf cart as she does, doing important things. And I'm like, hey, girl, how's it going? How's the day? And she was obviously very busy, as I would assume she was.
Sure.
But she was like, hang on, I really want to talk to you, but real fast, there's a possum giving birth over at the merchandise tent, and I need to go tend to it. And then she drove off. And that was the context I was left with.
And I was so serious too. I was taking this very seriously. I'm like, I'm sorry. I got to tend to a mother giving birth.
Well, I thought you were joking, and then
I was not. I'm okay. So
she posted the picture.
I did. It's on my Twitter. Okay, here's what happened. This is insane. My merchandise lady calls me freaking out because there's a possum up there. I'm like, they're nice. Don't worry about it. Just don't touch them. They've got rabies. And so I'm like, all right. So we sent track management up to take care of it, but obviously we got busy. And then she calls me back. She said, hey, don't bother. It's up here giving birth. It ain't dying. It's giving birth. So over Channel 1, Skip from Hickory's like, Keely, I ain't taking no mama from her babies. I ain't got that in me. I'm sorry. And I'm like, this is not happening right now. This is Hickory. And that's what happened. I swear.
That is the most Hickory thing I've ever heard, because it's so appropriate that it happened during this huge event with all these important people and all these cars on property that we had to stop momentarily, not for a funeral procession, but for motherhood.
And that's just what you get at the car store. See, this is why you can't just watch live on Flow Racing. You have to come out to the racetrack and experience the crazy stuff that happens.
Where else would you have seen that if you weren't there?
Exactly. Buy your grandstand ticket, guys.
It's true.
Yep. Again, great promoter, you two. Well, when we come back, speaking of possums, how am I going to tie it in Kaden Honeycutt into possums? When we come back, we're going to talk to Kaden Honeycutt about his strong win at Hickory, and then, of course, previewing Ace. Stay tuned.
A new era begins as the ASA CRA Super Series hits the track on Saturday, April 29th at Anderson Speedway. See the Midwest's top super late model racers as they compete for 125 laps around Anderson's tight quarter mile. Don't miss a second of the action. It's the ASA CRA Super Series kicking off 2023 on Saturday, April 29th at Anderson Speedway. And you can catch it all only on Racing America.
SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel are your all-inclusive motorsports warehouses with more than 450 product lines. They have everything to put you in victory lane, from professional racing to street performance. SRI and Stock Car Steel have you covered with leading brands as well as a large selection of steel, aluminum, and plastics. With locations in North Carolina and Indiana, access has never been easier. SRI has the world's largest inventory of used parts. SRI Performance and Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, your one-stop shops for everything racing.
Hey, I'm Dylan Hart Jr. You're watching Racing America.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's episode of Cars Tour Weekly, presented by Pepperjack Kennels. We got Kaden Honeycutt on the line now. He'll be joining us, and he's someone that has had all kinds of success at ACE, where the Cars Tour will be heading here in a few weeks. Kaden, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Good to see you guys.
Well, you had a really strong run at Hickory this past weekend, P3 in the late model stocks. That event was just incredible. Well, I want to say that the event from a fan standpoint, seemed like it went very smoothly considering how many cars were on property. Would you say the same?
Oh, absolutely. They did a spectacular job of getting everything's right. Obviously, the race took a little bit longer than expected, but the way they were able to come up with stuff right off the bat and have everything organized in a very fashionable way was very good to see. Especially, this probably won't be the first time we're gonna have to throw last chance races together and stuff like that. So officials did a great job, and doesn't look like we're gonna start having more last chance races in every race, it seems like, for the rest of the year. So it should be interesting. But yeah, from a driving standpoint, it was fun. I enjoyed every minute of it, and it always is good to be at Hickory, especially at a place that means so much to people like Dale. So it was a great event. So I'm sure everybody enjoyed it. If someone didn't like it, then I don't know what in the world they would be watching. Yeah. I don't know what in the world they'd be watching and enjoy.
Kaden, you have been a little wheelman in everything that you've gotten in recently. Obviously you're enjoying truck racing especially, but I feel like you are really enjoying your time with Mike Darn. Talk a little bit about how that dynamic is working, because you two both just seem like something just clicked there.
Yeah, I get, especially having Jason on my car. He was the first crew chief I ever had going into a late model stock. So it was just me and him already had it there. So we were moving over to a new chassis that Mike had wanted to present into his stable, Reynolds Racing Chassis. As me personally, I wanted to get to know the car. We tested not a bunch, but we tested at least 3 times at 3 different tracks. So before we did season testing, I was just like, yeah, this seems like a very nice car. I feel like they can do great stuff with it. And we did. I mean, when we tested, I was like, holy cow, this thing has a lot of speed. And I feel like this has a great potential to win. And we've already showed that 2 races in, I know they're 3rd place finishes, but it seemed like the 8 car and the 77 had a little bit on us, and then we broke away from the rest of the field. So it was just kind of like the extra more. That's just part of, having a new car and having to learn everything. So we took a lot of notes from Hickory. We'll be able to move on to the rest of the year at style tracks like Hickory. So yeah, like I said, the connection I had with Jason was already there, and me and Mike are just a lot alike in a lot of ways. So I think we're just all around very much the same people. So I think that's what is a little different than most.
I wanted to ask you about truck racing and your NASCAR starts, but the Cars Tour, I feel like, is a home for people that are short track lifers and for drivers that are, making their way up the stock car ranks. So you just recently made your Xfinity debut, and then you've been truck racing as well. Tell us all about that.
Well, truck racing honestly has tremendously helped me from the late model stock standpoint. It definitely drives a lot like it. Not saying the truck drives a lot more tighter than a late model stock does, but it still has the same concepts to it. And then I drove the Xfinity car at Martinsville, and honestly, that thing was just like almost the late model stock. So I think seeing the success that Josh Berry had from late model stock to Xfinity is not surprising to me, just because of how similar it is now experiencing that. So I've had good runs in the truck. I'm not obviously in a KBM truck or anything like that, but I try to take what I'm given and make sure that I maximize everything I got. And if we had good trucks, we just had some situations go bad, like Texas didn't even get the race, and that was absolutely our best truck that I had with the Roper Racing team. Is this, and then doing Xfinity, I just wanted to get my feet wet. I wanted to know what the car was like, what the horsepower was like, and how the racing would be. And I just want to race. So no matter if somebody asks me to go and race something that's got four wheels and a steering wheel, then I don't care what it is. So I've enjoyed the truck in Xfinity. Hopefully we'll be able to run the truck a little bit more throughout the rest of this year if things work out.
Well, I think I speak on behalf of Keely, the rest of the Cars Tour, the rest of the short track racing world, that we're rooting for you. And it's so exciting to see guys like yourself get these opportunities, and it's really exciting to watch. So thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing what you do the rest of the season.
That's fine. I appreciate you guys having me on. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you. Yep, that's Kaden Honeycutt, who has had lots of success at ACE, where we'll be heading here shortly in a few weeks. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about that.
National Super Late Model Racing returns to MIS Sunday afternoon, May 7th for the Joe Shear Classic 200. See the ASA Stars National Tour for the first time ever on Wisconsin's fastest half mile, racing for $15,000 to win, plus Midwest trucks. Get advanced discount tickets at MISRacing.com. ASA Stars National Tour plus Midwest trucks. It's the Joe Shear Classic 200, the biggest race of the year. Sunday afternoon, May 7th. First race 2 o'clock. Madison International Speedway. Don't miss it.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome to Raceface Digital Collectible Cards. Are you a driver or a team looking to expand your brand? Want to connect with your fans, give sponsors more exposure, and earn income from all card sales? Then Raceface Digital has you covered. Digitize your brand with 5 different collectible cards. Enrollment is now open to all drivers and all series. Visit racefacedigital.com today and use invite code RA1.
Believe it. Right now, racing, in my opinion, is as healthy as it's been in the last 15 to 20 years.
Just wanted to make that first lap.
Well, of course, we've been talking about Hickory all day today, but the Cars Tour heads into another tight bull ring for some Friday night short track racing at ACE.
Yeah, and ACE, the entry list is already shaping up to be a large one, and we are only starting 28 cars in both divisions at this race, so this one's going to be interesting.
Well, ACE will definitely be the place to be on May 5th for another twin bill of late model stock and pro late model racing. Keely, as always, thanks for being with us, along with Kaden Honeycutt in Racing America's Zach T. Evans. And remember, for replays of the show and more, go to racingamerica.tv and be sure to check out Racing America's 24/7 channel, free on connected devices. And don't forget, racingamerica.com and all of our social channels will have you totally covered with any breaking news from the NASCAR Cup Series, the Cars Tour, and everything in between. For Keely Dubinsky, I'm Jess Ballard saying thanks for joining us today on Cars Tour Weekly presented by Pepperjack Kennels. See you next week.
What creates a winning combination? Quality, focus, discipline, and most importantly, speed. At Pepperjack Kennels, we provide exceptional water and land training services for hardworking retrievers. From leading in the field to leading on the track, together we establish winning dogs and a winning team. Devoted to retrievers and motorsports, we are Pepperjack Kennels. Visit us online to learn more.
Welcome to Raceface Digital Collectible Cards. Are you a driver or a team looking to expand your brand? Want to connect with your fans, give sponsors more exposure, and earn income from all card sales? Then Raceface Digital has you covered. Digitize your brand with 5 different collectible cards. Enrollment is now open to all drivers and all series. Visit racefacedigital.com today and use invite code RA1.
Hey gang, join Scott Hansen, myself, and a host of other drivers on what will be the largest short track party at sea. Sail Eastern Caribbean on the Norwegian Encore January 7th to the 14th of 2024. Enjoy unlimited drinks, a special question and answer session, and have a chance at racing Scott and myself on the go-kart track. Call Mark at Memories Travel at 262-527-1341 or visit mymmtravel.com and click on the link to Bickle's Bon Voyage link for information.
It's the biggest weekend in Montgomery Motor Speedway history, and it comes your way on Saturday, April 29th. See the ASA Southern Super Series Super Late Models in the Rumble by the River, plus the return of the Show Me the Money Pro Late Models. It's a huge late model doubleheader on Saturday, April 29th at Montgomery Motor Speedway. For more info, go to montgomerymotorspeedway.org. Can't be there? You can watch